Hi, good morning, and welcome to another Escapement show. Good morning in the Northern Hemisphere and in the Southern Hemisphere for JCB. Good evening. How are you doing?
Good. Good evening. Yes, drinkies time for me down here. Saturday night. You guys, it's coffee time, I'm sure.
Orange juice on here.
Yeah, orange juice for me. Orange juice for me. And also, Jonathan, you reminded me, and I went to the shop the other day and I got some Stroop waffles.
Nice.
What's that? What's that? Hang on, hold up. Back the truck up. What is that thing? A waffle?
Waffles, Stroop waffles, Dutch caramel Stroop waffles.
Oh,
Ooh.
that is a lot of calories, and your
Yes.
teeth crowns are in danger with those.
I know them too well. Every time I go to Holland, it's just getting boxes of them just to keep them home.
We don't have those here. You gotta send me some, Thomas. Send some over, ship some over, man.
So Abdul, when you're driving to Holland, are you also confronted with those nasty Dutch caravans blocking the left lane of the
Yes.
on the highway? It's so annoying.
It's so annoying.
And then those are our natural enemies, aren't they?
Exactly. Especially when they leave Holland and then they start driving on the German highway, then you feel like, okay, now I have them. Now they're my space. I can drive 200, 260 kilometers per hour. I can just drive by them and forget about them.
But and then there they are. Not sure if everybody knows what we are talking about.
No. They're basically sweet waffles. You can see I've taken a bite out of it. So it's a waffle that's pressed and
it's like a little bit hard.
Is it filled with stuff?
It's filled with caramel.
Yeah, some extra calories inside.
Yeah, I like.
So Thomas, would you mind pulling that image up? I tried to explain the joke.
Sure.
So.
Yeah, I'll just introduce us. We've got Abdullah Watches. Check out his YouTube channel, Abdullah Watches. We've got Jonathan Quell Higgins. Check out his YouTube channel, the Susan John Show. And JCB, he's got JCB's Place, his YouTube channel. And we're going to start off. Jonathan wants to tell us a bit about some Langes. So we're just going to pull up a Lange.
No, let me pull the joke up at first. So
right.
We have the Autobahn with no speed limit, and our Dutch neighbors are famous to have a trailer behind everything that has more than two wheels.
Even on bicycles, they have a trailer.
Yes, and that is the running joke.
A caravan on an airplane.
Yes, and those caravans are, I think, limited to 100 or something like that on the German Autobahn, and they're blocking the left lane. So when you try to get quick, and when you're approaching the Netherlands, you see those caravans with those yellow number plates, and those are the Dutch people. The Germans have the white number plates, so nobody notices them, but the yellow number plates tell you that they're Dutch. Okay, so that was just for the entertainment. Now let me put the beautiful Lange up that I've just seen. I have the image of being the Lange propagandist here on the streams.
Yeah,
so I'm happy to go by with that.
Morning, Kevin. Good to see you. Nice to see you.
Kevin, hello.
Hey, Kev.
So Thomas, the
Lange propagandist. Here we go.
Yes, the Lange propagandist is spruiking another watch. I just came across this particular image on the Rolex forum, and I love it so much.
Beautiful.
Just have a look at the blue hands, and
those blue hands are gorgeous. So it's a Lange up down. This one.
Yes.
1815. 1815. Beautiful.
It became one of their entry models. Unfortunately, it is 31,000 euros right now, and you still can get them, which is a good thing. So, yeah.
So that's 31,000, like sticker price. What
yes.
What are they? What are they trading for, Jonathan? Do you know?
I think on the secondary you can get them for 22, 23 probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
Prices have gone up. I remember the times when you could get them for like 15.
Yeah. I remember once I saw it, like one guy was offering for 12.8, and I was really thinking about selling a couple of watches, and I was like, yeah, but where I will wear, I'm gonna wear this on the beach, I'm gonna wear this in the office, but I'm gonna wear this somewhere else. But this one is like, okay, I'm not gonna wear this for any place else other like special occasions, and I really regret not buying it, to be honest.
So now seeing this particular watch, does it hurt your feelings, Abdul?
A little bit.
Understandable. It's a gorgeous watch, isn't it?
Really, really nice. And Lange is one of the brands that I just like all the metal colors that they have, like all the white gold, honey gold, any kind of color of the metal. It doesn't matter for me from Lange. Somehow it just gives it more uniqueness and a little bit more of a vibe.
Yeah,
I think with the Lange, you can feel from every single model that the people who created those things love them. That is basically what I sense. There is nothing just made for the money. It is just because they're convinced to do that, because they love it, and then making money comes next.
Yeah. Just like to say hi to Y2K.
Hey, Y2K.
Yeah, it'd be good to see you if you want to jump on later on. Take care, mate.
I'm going to say one of the watches that really sent me down the watch rabbit hole when I was getting into watches, like, 12, 13 years ago, was a Lange. It was the Zeitwerk.
How can you not fall for that? Beautiful.
I was just getting into watches, and then I saw that the Zeitwerk, and I started looking into it, and I was just like, oh my god, like, what is this machine? It was just, and then from there I just went down the rabbit hole. So the Zeitwerk is, for me, it's responsible for me getting this far down the hole, for sure. So Lange is up there for me.
Such an amazing watch, isn't it? I mean, I'm a huge fan of digital displays as well, and that drew me to Lange as well.
I don't like them at all.
Yeah, I know you don't. I know.
Yeah,
It's interesting. A huge Lange fan, and you don't like the Zeitwerk. Interesting.
Yeah, just because of the digital display. I'm in an age where digital displays were standing for cheap quartz watches, and I can't really get over it. So, but I appreciate Lange, the Zeitwerk from a technical point of view, no doubt about it. But in my opinion, it's the least desirable. But that is just my crazy wired mind, and shouldn't influence.
That's why we have different watches, because
exactly. If we all like the same thing, it'd be a boring hobby. Yeah.
I remember some of the Langes that you put up there, Jonathan. Besides this one, what are the ones that you like?
Oh, I like almost everything else from Lange. So I'm a big fan of the Lange 1, Lange 1. I remember when that came out, it defined luxury, because the Lange 1 was the price of a Rolex Day-Date, which was the status symbol back then. And I remember I met a guy maybe in 1996 who had a Lange 1, and I thought, what a baller. This guy is spending his money to buy a Lange 1, a German product, instead of buying a Rolex Day-Date.
Yeah.
I like the way you put its natural name there. You pronounced it with its natural name, the Lange 1. I've never heard it. I've never heard it called that, but that's actually what it should be called. The Lange 1. Interesting.
And this is not the up down. This is auf and up.
Auf and up. Yeah. Right. We're learning all the time, Jonathan. Amazing.
I'm happy that I'm not totally useless.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Well, you ask Mr. GMT, he will tell you that.
No.
My arch enemy, who is pulling my leg always with a Zeitwerk. He can't repeat it more often. What a moron I am not to like the Zeitwerk, and he he puts the Zeitwerk up in front of my nose whenever he can.
So great hearing Langer talk. And have you any more Langer talk?
No black Lange watches.
No black Langer watches.
I'm trying to hover to the topic.
Yeah. So we'll crack on with the topic. Yeah, more black watches. If you tuned in a fortnight ago, you saw quite a few Langer watches that we Langer watches. You've got me talking Langer watches now. You saw
it worked.
You saw quite a few blacked out watches that we brought up. And have you got something else to show?
Yes. So I thought that starting with or restarting with the topic of black watches, I put out a word of warning to the punters out there. When we're talking about black coated watches, last time I was raving about my Porsche design watch, which has a contemporary diamond DLC coating on a titanium case and bracelet. People just should be aware a coating is a coating, and it's always prone to be wearing off. And as an example, I just took a picture of my own watch this morning. I haven't cleaned it, so I apologize for the dirt. But you can see on the stressed areas, you can see the black coating rubbing off,
flaking off. Yeah.
So I have a worse images, but
is that flaking off, Jonathan, or is it actually rubbing down?
I think it's more rubbing down, because it only rubs down where it's exposed to some kind of wear, and you can see that here from the case.
Yeah, that's visible.
So the coating goes off. You can tell me that I'm trying to convince myself, but I genuinely appreciate this kind of aging process, because it's a 50-year-old watch design, and when it looks perfectly spanking black new, it just has that sterile appearance.
Yeah.
And actually, I learned to live with those. How do you say, those flaws, or the black coating rubbing off on the edges, and it will continue. And I think it gives the watch a little bit charm. When I saw the first flaw, I was totally mad and upset, but you learn to live with it. So it's also a kind of process.
There's something that sticks out on black watches, isn't it?
Yeah.
Flaws.
So the last image, if you allow me, that is the most exposed part of this particular watch, which is the clasp. And that shows some heavy wear around the corners.
Yes.
And also in the middle of the clasp.
Where you've been desk diving and having the clasp rest on the desk. Yeah.
So you can see I'm not babying my watches. I love this watch. I have Lange watches. I have Rolex watches. I've been wearing this watch every single day since I got it. Every single day. There was not one day that I haven't worn it. I totally love it. For some quirky reasons, because it's not high horology or something groundbreaking, or it's not a Rolex, and it will suck on the secondary market and everything like that. But I just feel that this watch is me. I've been talking with Swiss about it. I told him this watch is a little bit like me. It comes from a different area. It's not modern. It's kind of old-fashioned, but it's still kind of cool, has its place, and it has never changed and has always been true to itself. And that is how I like to see myself. So.
Oh, very philosophical, that, Jonathan. Yeah.
Oh, the philosophical hour.
Summed yourself up in a good few words there. That's lovely.
Yeah, I've not been drinking so far. So wait, what comes next?
Lovely.
Well, it's good that you see yourself as kind of cool, Jonathan. That's the main thing.
Yeah.
The emotional connection that you have with the watch, that's what makes it like that's what makes it cool, that's what makes it worth every penny you paid for.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter who else agree with me. That is a nice thing. I'm getting enjoyment when I'm wearing it, and I don't care if somebody says, is it 7750 or it's outdated or it's not even properly water resistant because it doesn't have screwed on pushers or anything.
And that's how we should be wearing our watches for ourselves, not to show not to show off to anybody else, but just for what we love. Yeah.
By the way, those bright sectors on the bracelet, that is toothpaste, I have to say. So it's not rubbing there. It's only rubbing
Jonathan.
on the buckle. So.
For false information. I thought you were showing us rubbed off bits. It's actually toothpaste.
only on the bracelet. The white dots on the buckle on the center, those are really rubbed off. So only on the bracelet links I saw some brighter spots.
Just
so
need to confirm that information. False evidence.
Yeah, for me, that's the point why I don't get black watches for myself, because I'm a person, I don't mind having scratches on the case, whatever, don't mind them at all. But when there is a color difference in the case, somehow it just some OCD part of me just I cannot take it somehow.
Abdul, you're much younger than me. When you get to my age, you give a fike.
So I just wanted to start off with Alan Silberstein. I know that he's had a release with Bell & Ross this week, but I just go back to his past. Alan Silberstein, he has collaborated with a couple of other people, MB&F being one. This was based on the HM2 black box, a day, date, time, retrograde minutes. A 2009 MB&F had only been going 4 years, and this black box was a blacked out watch.
Looks really cool.
Yeah, interesting. Quite interesting with the rectangular shape. And
I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of Max Bösser, but I didn't even know that he made that collaboration with Alan Silberstein.
Yeah.
So, but here he was a little bit cheating, I must say, because Alan Silberstein is about those colorful hands with those weird shapes that he's going to repeat, and he couldn't incorporate that with this particular watch. He only made those 3 colored dots. So he was a little bit lazy, I must say.
Yeah, this is a horological machine, one of the horological machine 2s.
Oh, those are beautiful, yes.
Yeah, really nice one, really interesting.
I think the next one has the hands element.
Yes.
The next one, this is a legacy machine. So this is legacy machine 1. You can see the hovering balance wheel in the middle, this hairspring. And he has added his hands there. This middle one is a blacked out one. So it was running with the theme. So DLC coated titanium. Yeah, I believe. Yeah. So
cool looking piece.
Really cool.
MB&F doing their thing with Alan Silberstein there.
Nice.
So, move on to what Alan Silberstein has been up to recently. And as Jonathan mentioned, you get the hours and you get the hands wavy. And here we go. Here we are. We've got these Alan Silberstein Bell & Ross BR03, a 3-handed piece, a diver and a chronograph. Silberstein has collaborated with, like I said, MB&F, Louis Erard, Ressence, and since the closure of his business in 2012. And we've got the Club 22, a time-only one. a Marine 22, a Diver, and the Chrono 22 chronograph. And it's got Silberstein's iconic Bauhaus inside hands. And these are... They're the Club 22 and the Marine 22, the time only in the Diver, running Solita SW 300s, and the chronographs running a ETA 2894. And they're selling as a packet. There's 100 only, and the first 50 will be sold in a Silberstein designed box. As a threesome, a trilogy, and that's going to be $16,700, which is quite a lot for the trilogy. But you can buy them separately. $4,400 for the time only, $5,600 for the Diver, or $6,700 for the chronograph. But I love them. I really like this rounded hour hand on the time only, and the straight minute hand, the wobbly second hand. Well, I mean, what's your opinions?
I really like it as well. I just wish he didn't do the date window, because it's really small, I think, and I don't know. I'm not a big fan of date windows. I like a clean dial, but my favorite is definitely the Diver. It looks really, really cool.
JCB, your opinion?
Yeah, I'm not really feeling that, to be honest. I sort of feel like with this, it's too much of a juxtaposition of like
the Bell and Ross case and the
like you've got industrial machinery, like in terms of the pilot style case and the instrument case put together with this sort of whimsical handset, and it's just too much of a clash of sort of like design philosophy, if that makes sense. It's sort of just it's confusing my brain a little bit too much.
Yeah, it's a black ceramic case from Bell and Ross, and like you say, it is quite a juxtaposition, because I was used to the Louis Erard one, which I really liked.
I was just going to say that when it was in the Erard case in that design, it sort of worked a bit better, but here it's just not working for me. It seems like I'm in a kid's playground or something, and I'm looking at, like a colored slide and like bits and pieces of like handle, like in the kids' playground, the handles are different colors and stuff. I just feel like I'm looking at a kid's watch, to be honest. Yeah, not really my cuppa, I've got to say.
I get exactly the same vibe, and full disclosure, I will never buy an Alain Silberstein watch, but I know his watches since the 1990s. And once you've seen one of them, you will always recognize his design, no matter if it's a clock for the wall, if it's a pocket watch, if it is Louis Erard or Bell and Ross. The moment you see it, you know this is Alain Silberstein. And we're talking here on the YouTube channels of being original or following somebody else. So no matter if you like this or not, and like I say, I would never buy such a watch because it looks like like a kid's watch to me as well. No matter how you feel about them, but they are so unique and so easily recognizable that you instantly know where it comes from. And you can't say that from many other designers.
Yeah, true. That's
true.
So it's mixed opinions on that. So yeah, an interesting release this week from them, but not for everyone. But like you say, a bit of a juxtaposition.
I think after the Louis Erard release that they did together, their stocks went up. Let's say in the watch world, a lot of people are now collecting them back again, and I think they will sell out. But like
I really like the Louis Erard one.
Yeah, I think it's a love or hate. This one as well. It's a love or hate watch. You either like
and it's
it.
Not, yeah, it's not only a watch; it's a piece of art, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So next up, we've got one which is very popular with the women, the Chanel J12, and this is very popular with women in the white version. But we're talking blacked out watches here, so I'll take us back to the black version. And we can see a very, very ceramic case, ceramic bracelet. This comes in 41, 38, 33, 29, and 19 millimeters. So you can see they're going for all sexes. They do chronographs as well as time only. They're using a Kinesi movement co-owned by Chanel. And they call it the caliber 12.1 or 12.2.
I think it's the same movement, just like in Tudor, isn't it?
Yeah,
the bigger ones.
Could be. Yeah, it could well be. But
it's a carbon case, right? Or ceramic case? Sorry,
I think ceramic.
Yeah,
ceramic, right?
Yeah,
ceramic. Yeah,
and also a ceramic bracelet, if I know that.
And yeah, that's correct. Ceramic case and ceramic bracelet. Yeah, so this is £6,750. I mean, very, very popular.
The only part that's not ceramic.
It's not a ceramic bracelet. Yeah.
No, I think it's ceramic bracelet, isn't it? Yeah, I think it is.
Black, highly resistant ceramic and steel. It says
the steel is the bezel. Is the bezel piece?
Bezel and crown, maybe.
Yeah, and the crown. Yeah, the
bezel steel. Yeah.
So the bezel steel with a ceramic insert, but the case is ceramic. The bracelet ceramic.
So if you keep that in mind, it's a pretty good price. Yeah. What I like about Chanel is they found a niche for luxury women's watches. So I think they are very strong with ladies' watches. The brand name Pulse. It's not much about horology. It's more about fashion and combinability with fashion. And I really appreciate what Chanel does, because many watch companies basically just make a men's watch and shrink it. In my opinion, this is a ladies' watch, even if it goes up to 41 millimeters. So they're quite good, and they're quite successful with that.
Yeah, it's been very popular with the ladies. I must say, I know a lot of women who, when they choose a watch, it's more fashion orientated.
Yeah,
because it's many
super rich women many super rich women who would easily wear a gold Rolex or something like that. They really like their Chanel.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's very popular with like you say, a lot of rich women would rather, or not rather, but like wearing the J12. It's been a very popular watch.
I reckon they've got, like, looking at this piece just spinning around, like for a guy's watch, I reckon that has sort of got a really good platform for me anyway, to make a really cool guy's design watch. Like, if you made a few tweaks to this, they can make a kick-ass piece. Like if they brushed some of that ceramic on the bracelet, for example, brushed maybe some of the side of the case, made it a bit more of a masculine, sporty dial design. I reckon that's, they could make a few tweaks to it and come up with a pretty cool piece, I reckon. It's just super blingy, with the fully polished ceramic for my taste. But I reckon there's some potential there, you know, as a sort of as a platform, as a chassis, if you like, to come up with something pretty cool.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's the polishing that makes it more feminine. It's the fully polished bracelet, like you say. It's if you had a little brushing, it may be a bit more. Men may like it a bit more, but it's very showy. It's a very showy watch.
So I'm just thinking, like, comparing to some of the other full ceramic pieces, like the APs and the Laureato. Those ones they utilize a lot of brushing in the ceramic to take that gloss off. And it really changes the whole style of the watch. It really tones it down and it makes it really cool. Here with this fully high polished ceramic, that's where you sort of get into trouble from a design point of view, I think. For men anyway. I can see how women would love the shiny ceramic, but for guys, they got to tone that down a bit.
Yeah, I mean, it is a unisex watch, but you're right, I think, JCB. Yeah, so that was the J12. So one ceramic and steel.
I've been noticing also
blacked out or whited out. You could have a white out with it.
The past couple of years, it's been uphill for all the brands, let's say, that was before looked at as jewelry brands like Bulgari, Cartier, Chanel. They're introducing in-house movements, great designs, and I think they're getting the idea of creating good horological, let's say, horological speaking watch, but at the same time having the brand name behind, which a lot of people who are not like us, who are really, let's say, in deep in the rabbit hole, are buying it, and I think it's a good move as well from them.
Now here's one for JCB. We know he loves his Breitling. We won £3,500. It's the Breitling Aerospace. This is a quartz anodigi watch, black titanium, I believe. Which is polished, and the original had silver titanium case. It's a really nice one. This I really like it. I know someone who's got one, and but in silver, in the original
silver. How is the black titanium achieved?
I don't know, Jonathan. If you look at the original one, that's in silver titanium, and then you get the black titanium. So I don't know how the black titanium.
I'm pretty sure it's DLC. I'm pretty sure it's DLC coded. This one.
Really? Right.
Yeah. Like 99% sure. It's got a coating on it. Yeah.
Yeah, what I saw in the previous page that you were showing us, that there was an advertisement on the right upper side for Porsche design titanium carbide. It was some form of titanium alloy that looked a little bit, let's say, darker titanium. I don't think, or I don't know if Breitling is doing this.
Yeah, I think Porsche came out with something sophisticated where they mix titanium with a kind of carbon thing to make it not only on the surface but more durable. I think I've seen a prototype somewhere, or probably they're not doing it. Let me check.
Breitling. And another interesting one was that it's disappeared from here now. It's disappeared.
I'm just looking at it in a blog to watch article. They're saying it's PVD coded titanium.
Okay.
Yeah, that's on a blog to watch. I haven't gone to the source, the actual Breitling, but yeah, it's a coating anyway on there. Pretty cool piece. I mean, the aerospace is it's sort of iconic really in the Breitling catalog, I think. It's expensive for what it is. It's a quartz piece, but still it's titanium. It's got the pretty advanced quartz movement, all that thermocompensated, all that sort of stuff. Just a cool piece. My only issue with the piece is that the coating on there is it's super dark gray. It's not quite black, like as compared to this one. This is the Endurance Pro, which is, I think this is a carbon. Or no, it's like some sort of composite ceramic.
Yeah,
plastic.
it's their own. They call it Breitling. It's their own Breitling's own sort of. They've made it up. Their composite. They call it Breitling. They say it's 3.3 times lighter than titanium and 5.8 times lighter than stainless steel. It's non-magnetic, thermally stable, and hypoallergenic. So it's another material which is quite interesting.
It's a fancy plastic, really.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was just gonna say.
exactly, fancy plastic. Yeah,
That's what it sounds like. This,
Yeah.
this is a lot darker. I mean, here, the material is actually black, whereas compared to the night mission aerospace, that's just got a coating on it. So sort of different sorts of watches. I'm thinking about getting a quartz watch like one of these, one of the Breitlings, one of these ones, or an aerospace night mission. Just thinking about it, just as a sort of a beta, like a grab and go type of piece. I'll probably lean towards this one because it's a bit more. The design is a bit more subdued. It's not sort of super sporty like the Endurance. This is an icon design, I think, for the quartz, for the sort of the quartz segment, and also just sort of in the Breitling sort of pilot's range. This is, it's a proper tool watch. This one, designed for pilots and aviation professionals.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool piece, I think.
Yeah, I like it. I'm quite a fan of it myself. It's an everyday grab and go type of watch. You don't have to worry about. It's a quartz watch which you can just chuck on, and you don't have to worry about winding or.
Yeah, it's super thin as well. It's like 11 mil or something. It's like maybe 11.1 or 2. So really nice and thin. If they had made it a mil or two smaller, like it's a 43 mil case in the diameter. So I think that's the only thing that's sort of putting me off. I think I'll have to just go and try one on, but the 43 size, as a sort of a beta type of watch, it would be much better at a 41, something that size, I think.
Yeah. So, Jonathan, you wanting to bring this up?
Yes. So I was browsing a little bit because I had something in my mind. So Porsche
one I saw.
introduced this particular watch, which is the Chronograph 911 Dakar. That you can only buy this watch when you buy this particular Porsche, and Porsche claims that this is a new material that combines the lightness of titanium with the color of carbon, and it says case made out of extremely lightweight and durable titanium carbide. That is how they advertise it here.
Interesting.
I've been noticing also a lot of manufacturers are doing a lot of new alloys and a new, like, let's say, combining a couple of metals.
IWC, for example. Ceratinium.
Yeah, we saw that last time, didn't we? Yeah.
Man, that would be really hard, that material, I imagine. Titanium carbide.
Yes, must be a bitch to machine. Titanium alone is very difficult, but then,
it's like almost like platinum, maybe to work with them.
Okay, sorry for distracting.
Yeah, not at all.
I saw I was on Hodinkee, I don't know, maybe last week or something. I saw there was another Porsche design, Jonathan. Was really. What was that one? Let me just pull it up. That's another black watch. I'd say like another variant of the Porsche design.
Chronograph 1. You mean?
It's like a
1 second.
Arctic edition, maybe.
No, it's Ice Race edition. And
fuck, I was close. Come on, RP Ice Race.
can you pull that up, Thomas? So I think you're talking about this.
Yeah, that's one.
Looks really
so.
Yeah. So what have they done? What's different? It just seems like it's.
So I was just double checking, and the reporting on this particular watch is pretty shallow because it's always connected to this particular race. If you want, I can elaborate that a little bit after I'm talking about the watch. So this is a super limited edition on occasion of this ice race. It's 250 pieces. On Hodinkee and on Monochrome, it says this is a raw titanium case. This is not the titanium carbide case that we've seen on this Dakar watch. Not sure how accurate that is, or if that is the first attempt of making that titanium carbide case in a larger scale. So that is the Ice Race watch. You can see here on the 6, it doesn't have that colored sub-dial, just like on the Dakar watch. So what is the Ice Race? Very short. The Porsche family has some properties in a town called Zell am See in Austria. That is also the city where the Porsche design studio is located. And in Zell am See, they used to do ice racing on the lake, on the frozen lake in the winter throughout the 1950s. And I think the grandson of Mr. Porsche, also Ferdinand, what is his nickname? I think he's Ferry Porsche. He is organizing that ice race in Zell am See for the last couple of years. Was a big hoot last year. 1 second, let me just bring that up. So they're doing that ice race at the end of January every year.
Is that the one you got invited to?
Yes, but
nice.
Now comes the bad news. 1 second. Let me pull the article up. It's such a cool event. I enjoyed it when I read about it last year. Maybe, Thomas, you can pull that up. So that is an Hodinkee article about this particular race. So they're not doing it on the lake anymore because the climate is getting warmer. They're doing it now on the airfield. And the thing is about racing with all kind of cars on a frozen surface. They are building up a racetrack on the frozen ice field in Zell am See, and using all kind of vehicles, modern, vintage, rally cars, whatever you want.
That is insane.
It's just a cool event, and the highlight is when they strap skiers behind the race cars. Here you can see.
Wow.
So that originates, I think, from Norway, where they had skiers behind horses. So they put it on another level to put skiers now behind a race car. So, and I've been invited to this particular event for this year by Porsche Design Watches because I love that this particular watch so much. But yesterday I received the call that everything is cancelled because in Zell am See they have positive 10 degrees. They are not able to get that frozen surface. And the entire event has been cancelled. My hotel bookings are non-refundable, so I'm pretty screwed here. But it would have been a nice event, and I hope that probably next year it's gonna happen.
Oh, what a shame.
That's a shame. Maybe contact them, tell them to move. Tell them to move the reservation for next year.
Just like to say a quick hello to D-Time Love Show. Hello, Kumbare. And hello. To Nick C. Good to see you, Nick.
Hi, Nick.
Sorry, Jonathan.
Good to see you, gentlemen.
I hope that I'm able to move my hotel reservation to next year. Yes, that is exactly the punchline that I'm trying to do. Yeah. And it's a little bit sad because I was so looking forward to it I think I told you that backstage last time.
Yes.
This is an event for my heart. If Porsche watches would have invited me to the Côte d'Azur on a luxury yacht, I wouldn't have been happier. I totally love that idea with that ice race.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
such
it
a shame.
would have been great. It was such an event.
Yeah.
So bring one up. Here's one for you, JCB. One of your brands, along with Breitling. You guess which one this one is? The Zenith A384 Chronomaster Revival Shadow.
Shadow, yeah, the Shadow, yeah.
£7,500. This one is a microblasted titanium case, it says, which I believe is forged carbon coated. And it's in a 1969 case, 37 millimeters, using the El Primero column wheel chronograph, and has a rubber strap, but that looks like a more sailcloth strap to me.
Mm-hmm.
It says it's rubber, but maybe it's rubber coated on the inside and sailcloth on the outside. But this is just a gorgeous. This is just a gorgeous piece. I absolutely love it.
Cool.
Really, really cool. I love the A384 myself, and but this is just a stunning.
Yeah, great piece. And the real the live photos and the actual watching. I haven't seen it in person, but I've seen a lot of live photos, and it looks a lot better in the live photos.
Hasn't Watchgringer had that on her wrist and made a review? I think on a green strap. The only beef that I have with this particular watch is the black strap. I think it needs a little bit more color for the strap, and I think Watchgringer had it on a green strap, and it looked fantastic on her.
I think on a white strap would look really nice as well.
I think I saw a guy. I think You're Terrific. I think that's his channel. I'm not sure if you've heard of that guy. He's got some good content. He did a pretty good review of this watch. It was, really cool. Yeah, I like it. I tend to like the steel versions on the ladder bracelet a little bit more than the blacked out version.
Me too.
But this is still cool. It's still it's the the vintage Zenith case pieces. I really like those. So yeah, nice one.
Yeah, me too. I much prefer the ladder bracelet versions. It's just the bracelet that steals that watch for me. It's steals the show. The bracelet is the one of the main attractions I go for a bracelet.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, definitely.
So I'll skip over this one, but this one's a weird one. This was on display Watches and Wonders.
I know what's coming.
Yeah, Moser had success in Watches and Wonders with this. It was they have success with their Fume dials and blue and green streamliners, and after having success for using Vanta Black on the dials, Moser's now trying to troll us again by covering a whole watch case and strapping the material, calling it the blacker than black Vanta Black. The blackest substance ever produced artificially, composed of carbon nanostructures and absorbing 99.975% of light in an extremely sensitive and delicate substance to handle. This watch is actually too fragile to be worn on the wrist, but Moser are researching different ways that this watch could be worn in the future. And I know, Jonathan, you're a big fan of Vanta Black, aren't you?
Oh, love it, yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
so
but you can barely see this watch against the black background. And
I think that was such a cool idea that they did just to get attention, basically, and play around with this material. So what is Vanta Black? Vanta Black is basically nanotubes, little microscopic tubes where the light runs dead. So there is no reflection at all of any kind of light. So the surface is not really homogeneous. It consists of little holes, and the effect is just stunning. So, as far as I know, nobody was allowed to handle this watch, so they had to grab it on that pole below, because any dirt or any kind of pressure on those nanotubes will destroy the structure and will ruin that black effect. So they had to handle this particular watch with super high care, but it's just such a cool sight to see. I'm a little bit upset that I haven't seen it in real life, but the pictures and the videos are just stunning. It just looks like those hands are floating in space, and there is nothing around it. So it's a super cool material. They make dials out of Vanta Black. The only disadvantage on those dials is that it's covered usually with a crystal, which reflects a little bit. But at the moment, there is no better way. But it's just such a cool material, and I appreciate that H. Moser is using that.
Yeah, I mean, it's as you can see, you can't even see the watch.
Yeah,
it's just bit bizarre.
If they really wanted to troll, they should have done the handset in Vanta Black as well.
Just black.
Actually, they have a watch. They have a watch with a Vanta Black dial, and the hands are coated in black, and you can see the hands over this super dark dial, just because it's so crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the Vanta Black Streamliner. And another... Hi, Chili. Good to see you.
In the house.
Yeah, another recent Moser release, which isn't quite black, but it's grey. Moser were one of the first independent watch brands to launch an e-commerce platform back in 2020, and this is, I thought this was a trolling watch as well from them, because I can barely see the hands, but Swiss watch brands were against the e-commerce, but it forced them to adopt e-commerce during the pandemic in order to survive. And Moser pushes e-commerce one step further by offering a highly customer-focused experience based on cutting-edge technologies, they say. And they developed a dedicated app for authentication using blockchain technology to ensure traceability and transparency of the product's life cycle, from certification, warranty, and insurance to customer services. Digital assets like NFTs, which is artwork, and will accompany the watches, including short time capsule videos staging the creation of the product and the production. And you even get to meet the team. It's limited to 50 pieces, microblasted grey steel case, pixelated titanium crown and bezel, which are 3D printed, and a Vanta Black dial. And there's 30 pieces, 50 pieces using the HMC 200 automatic caliber. Now, I've had Moser fans who say that they're sick of Moser being sort of playful and gimmicky, and having a sense of humor, too much of a sense of humor, and they want them to focus a bit more. And I can get this kind of a bit. I know that we know Moser has a sense of humor, but this one just is bizarre, I find. If we go to some other pictures of it.
Is it meant to be funny though? Like what all that stuff that you were saying before about NFTs and blockchain and all the rest of it, like that sounds pretty serious to me. Or is that just
No, it's very serious. They're taking it into the digital age. I think
Thomas, I think they're trolling again.
They're trolling, but I mean, Bulgari did a watch with a QR code on it.
But I think that is the middle finger to Bulgari, what you see here. So they're making
really,
yes.
right.
I think it's a limited edition, 50 pieces. I'm pretty sure they have no problem selling this watch, but this is a troll watch, in my opinion.
Right, like the Swiss Alp watch was and the Swiss cheese watch.
Yeah,
Swiss cheese watch. So yeah, so it's Moser having a sense of humor again and knowing that they've got a customer base.
And can I address to that criticism that H. Moser should focus more on their project and not on the trolling? I would agree with this kind of criticism if their products would suck, but their products are really outstanding. So if that is part of their creative process to come up with some trollings, I'm all for that. And let's keep in mind, before COVID, all the Swiss arrogant, stubborn, snobbish watch companies said, "Oh, the customer needs the boutique experience with the champagne and with our furniture and everything like that." How quick that changed when COVID hit and their stores were closed. Everybody could not get fast enough into e-commerce. So I think there is a good reason behind that. That H. Moser is trolling them now a little bit for being the greedy hypocrites that they probably are.
Yeah.
And for the Swiss Alp watch, to be honest, when it came out, I was like, "Oh, that's ultra trolling because it looks like an Apple Watch." But I actually saw one guy. He is CEO of a company in the region here, and we had a meeting together. And I saw it on his wrist. And then I went to him afterwards in the coffee break, and I talked to him, and I was like, "I love your watch, but I just want to ask you, why did you buy this watch?" And he told me his reasoning. He works with programmers and people who only wear Apple watches, so he didn't want to wear a watch that looks outside of, let's say, the realm, but at the same time, it's a watch that he likes. So I was like, "Wow, that's a nice
move
way to see it." Yeah, exactly. So people think he's wearing an Apple Watch, but it's a Moser.
I would love to talk to that individual. I think that is a very cool guy. Not having seen him or not having talked to him, but I would love to meet that guy and have a watch conversation with him.
Yeah, I think you would like him. He also drives a 911 S, so he's a really an eccentric guy, let's say, but he's a really cool guy.
Yeah, just again, say hello to Chili Badger. Good to see you. And hi, William Rizzo. Good to see you.
William.
Good morning. Good morning, William.
Good to see you, mate.
Yeah, it's trolling to the max. They're great. They have got a great sense of humor, Moser. I must admit, they really do.
You know that
they're the only brand that are actually doing it. Like no one else is doing it and having a sense of humor and putting some work into creating these pieces. So it's really cool. Hats off to them.
The CEO or the H. Moser's owner's father used to be CEO for AP for a very long time.
Oh, Ed Malenstad, really? Wow, interesting. So, got another German brand, Abdul and Jonathan, and it's this time we got Zinn.
Zinn.
Now, I really like this watch. This is a Zinn U1 SE. This is got faux patina on it. You can see. This is made from German submarine steel, sourced from the ThyssenKrupp Marine Systems. I hope I didn't butcher that name, Jonathan.
No, it was okay.
The same steel used for the external hull of German Navy's new Class 212s, the most advanced non-nuclear submarines in the world. And the case and bezel are then treated with tegmented technology and a black PVD coating applied. The stainless steel H-link base is also PVD coated. And I absolutely love this watch. I think it's great. I think it's a lovely one. Really, really nice. And Zinn doing their great stuff. I've seen when I was at Watch Pro Salon in London in November, I saw the representative from Zin, and he was scratching away at the bezel, and he couldn't to demonstrate how tough it was, and he couldn't scratch it. He couldn't get any, get down to the scratch it off. And,
what was he using to scratch it?
I was using a metal knife.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, it was really interesting.
The only negative that I see about those watches in submarine steel, they feel to me to be heavier than a comparable stainless steel watch. Not sure if I'm right about that, but every time I'm touching those kind of watches, I have the feeling that they're really heavy. So, is there any substantial discussion about that aspect in the Zin community, or am I just making this up because I'm expecting it to be titanium just from the looks of it?
I don't know. I'm not too sure, to be honest with you.
Me
Do
neither.
you know, Abdul?
No, me neither. Also, maybe that would be the case, Jonathan. That you think that because of the darker metal color, that it might be titanium with some kind of coating, and you expect the titanium to be much lighter than the steel, and maybe the segmented steel when they do their process, it becomes some way heavier because it some more molecules or atoms for the metal on top. So something like that might be the case.
Yeah, and there must be something like the fact that it's German submarine steel. That must have a different sort of alloy. You would think that's they mix in.
But I'm not sure if that makes a substantial weight difference. So that is why I've been asking.
Yeah, it's probably a combination of things as well, because these things are pretty well engineered, I believe.
You're right. So I have to say all the Zins that I had were heavier than comparable watches in the same size. Somehow they feel like more over-engineered somehow.
Right, interesting.
There is a very good point by Chili Badger, who says the crown at 4 o'clock a bit weird. Yesterday I read an article, I think on Hodinky, where somebody said, or maybe I heard it on the show, the crown at 4 o'clock has the purpose that the crown doesn't push
into the hand, yeah.
But that is not the purpose. That is a collateral effect. But the main reason is to protect the crown. So with those crowns, those are crucial for water resistance. And when they're at 3, they're exposed to all kind of abuse and damage. And the main reason why those crowns have been moved to 4 o'clock or 2 o'clock or 5 o'clock is to protect the crown a little bit more, to have it less exposed.
Hi, Y2K. Good to see you.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, guys. Please keep going.
Hey, Y2K.
Don't let me interrupt you guys. Keep going.
Thomas, here's a question for you. If you have a look at the Zin catalog, pretty much all of their divers come in a blacked out variant. So what is it about this particular U1 that you really liked?
I like the faux patina, to be honest with you. I'm a sucker for faux patina. I tried it on. I tried it on a watch show and it came on a leather strap instead of the bracelet, and it just looked really nice. It looked really good. Yeah. So that's one Zin to another Zin. We'll just check in with another Zin, which was suggested by Abdul. Now, I don't know much about this watch, Abdul, so you'll have to tell us a bit more. And I'll have to skip through a couple of pages. This is a Zin 1800 SGG Damanson, a watch made of Damascus steel, limited to 100 pieces, already sold out in direct sales. Case and integrated dial made of Damascus steel, with black hard coating on the tegmented background. And I'll just bring a better picture of that up.
Love this piece.
Because
Very
it's
cool.
I'll just bring a better picture of it up because that wasn't a very good one, and I've got a bigger picture of it from the PDF because the Sin website didn't provide brilliant pictures. So here we go. What do you know about this watch, Abdul?
So I chose this watch because I'm a fan also of knives. So I like to watch knife shows and how they make knives. And I have a couple of Damascus steel knives that I really like. And when I saw this watch, it was just like, okay, these are my first hobby is watches, and let's say my third is knives. So it combined both together. And the Damascus steel, if you don't know the process, is basically folding up metals on top of each other, and the more you fold, the more layers you get, and it's a pretty hard process, and not all the time it gets you the good effect that you want. And there are a lot of techniques, like there are raindrop technique, which one of my favorite is after you fold everything up, you drill holes in the metal plate, and then you put it to form it. And this one is just like exactly what I want from a watch that just looks really unique. And if you have a knife that matches it, it's just like a perfect trip, let's say, combo for me.
Yeah, how do you feel about the date ruining that Damascus effect on the dial?
Yes, that's the point that didn't make me buy the watch, because I like clean dials. I don't like dates. Like most of my watches don't have date window. I have a mobile phone everywhere where I go, so I would check the date there. For me, just taking a part of this beautiful metal pattern that they already showed, and I really agree with you that they should have just eliminated the date.
Yeah, the base is made of Damascus steel with a black hard coating on the tegmented base, and as you can see, it's got applied indices and hands in 18 karat gold, which are really nice on this.
How much is this watch?
I don't know.
I think it was like 8 or 9,000 euros, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah,
and each one I think is different, because the pattern of the steel, it will be different.
It will be. It will be. Yeah, you get a unique dial on each one, I would have thought. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I really like that they used the case as well.
Would this watch be on? Don't mind interrupting.
I think it's maybe like the let's say an explorer type, like the simple day-to-day everyday use watch. Even though it might look a little bit fancy, but I think because of the hardness of the steel and the well-built quality of Sin, I think you can wear this to every day, and it will take it.
Okay, sounds good.
Just to put a little bit water into wine, I think the black coating is unnecessary. In my opinion, with Damascus, the true beauty shows when it's untreated.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they have a normal version as well.
Right.
Yeah,
there's an uncoated one too.
I quite like this black coated one. I think though. I'm just into black watches.
The black coating is a little bit an equalizer to the Damascus effect.
Mm-hmm. I like the uncoated one more than this one, but I thought this one matches our topic more.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But I like also that Sin used gold elements to the watch. It gives it like a little bit of a boom effect. Like,
your audio's just dropping out a bit, Abdul.
Oh, okay.
There we go. There we go. Yeah.
No, now it's worse.
It sounds like you just stepped back all of a sudden.
Oh, okay. Let me go check out the router and come back.
That's it.
No, yeah, you got it actually. For a second, we got you there.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the Damascus steel one. That's an interesting one that Abdul brought up, which I thought was worthy of inclusion.
Yeah, cool piece.
Really nice piece. What's next? Yeah, this is a brand I've been looking at, Oxen Junior. I don't know whether you know much about these. Are these German, Jonathan?
I think he's Swiss. If
Swiss,
if I know that correctly.
But there, I think you buy direct from them, but you can change your case colors. You order and change your case colors, but this one, obviously, you can get a blacked out case. And this is a perpetual calendar. This one, they do a lot of calendars with these little dots going around the dial to indicate the days of the week.
So those watches,
days of the month, should I say?
Those watches, as far as I know, are the brainchild of a guy called Ludwig Oechslin, who is a mathematics genius, and he's constructing those modules and those displays. And if I know it correctly, Oechslin was also working for Ulysse Nardin for those astronomical watches.
Really?
Yeah.
Right.
I may be totally wrong, but I think I've been reading that, and I'm not Googling that now. So you guys in the comments can prove me wrong if I'm talking rubbish.
Yeah, it was just one that I really liked. I really liked the look of it, and it was just something that appealed to me. I like the brand and these calendar dials that they do, and yeah, it's just something that appealed to me.
One thing for sure, there isn't going to be a date window that affects the whole outlook of the watch.
Well, you have 31 date windows, so I'm not sure if that makes it any better.
It's camouflage behind with the little dotties.
It's invisible.
Kind of camouflages behind, unless you have to purposefully, intentionally build a square or circle just to fit the date number. Yeah.
Yeah, the trouble is you have to, if you really want to know what day of the month is, you're going to have to count every dot around. And then, unless you customize yourself with each dot. But I suppose the buttons that are pointing out do each week, count each week for you, so that helps you. But yeah, as I say, it's just one that I came across and I really liked, and I like the brand Oxton Junior and the work that they do. It's just a quirky little piece.
Yeah, it's also just like we talked about Alain Silberstein before. Once you see one of those watches, you immediately know that it's Oxton Junior. When you see those little dots for the date display.
Yeah. And Chili saying each button is 5 days. So,
Thomas, maybe I can pull that up because I'm on the webpage right now. Oechslin, I was right, and you can play actually with the date display, and that's quite a cool feature. So you can here advance the date. You see that?
Oh yeah, right.
And it gives you an idea what happens then on 31st. Let's see what changes. Yeah.
Ah, the little dots. Yeah,
the little dot
the
moves.
dot in the center.
Oh, yeah. Now you advance the month, and I think the 4 windows then shows the leap year or not.
Right.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. Yeah. Pretty cool web page, I must say.
Yeah, that's a good web page, isn't it? Yeah. Very good. Oh, thank you for that, Jonathan. That's a good little demonstration. So
is it
move
better
on.
now?
Yeah,
yes.
that's great, Abdul. Thank you.
A lot better. Nice.
So move on to a run-of-the-mill watch here. This is a
Gesundheit.
Gesundheit.
Bless you.
I tried to mute myself, but I missed the button.
Here's a ceramic. Back to normal standard watches here. This is a dive watch by Blancpain, the Bathyscaphe. It's a ceramic version. £18,300. Liquid metal hour markers it's got, and a 430 date. Manual wine 1315 caliber with a 120 hours power reserve, which is very good.
Yeah, 3 mainspring barrels. That movement, yes.
Very good. Yeah. And 300 meters water resistance. So 3 mainspring barrels keep it going for that long, do they, Jonathan?
Yep.
Very good. Wow.
So I'm dropping my butt out of the window. I hate the Bathyscaphe. I think those hour markers are too small compared to that big dial. This is supposed to be a tool watch, a utility watch. I never can get over those tiny hour markers compared with those big blocky hands. I don't like the visuals of this. I'm a big fan of the 50 fathoms. I can't get over the Bathyscaphe. I apologize.
That's like that with a lot of people. A lot of people are very content. This is quite contentious watch amongst a lot of Blancpain fans. The Bathyscaphe is the 50 fathoms is the original OG, and the Blancpain Bathyscaphe is often cast away as the ugly child.
It's just another one of those examples, though, where if they just made a few tweaks to it, it would really change the watch. Obviously, as Jonathan says, the markers they're just too small, because then you have this huge expanse of this empty dial, which is just like, what the hell?
Additionally,
date window,
those tiny nipple plots are just pointless.
Yeah. I think it's if they just made a few tweaks, it could change the watch 100, totally. And I think this is quite a big piece too, isn't it? It's
43, right?
44.
With the big movement, it's quite big. I think they are also making the small version, but then it has 2 mainspring barrels, lower power reserve, and everybody wants the big movement with the 3 barrels. So.
And I've heard, I don't know if it is true or not, but a couple of people told me that the strap that they had from Blancpain is horrible. Like the sailcloth strap or the fabric strap is really like not the best. They didn't like it at all.
This strap?
Yeah, I don't know if it's this strap or the fabric one. There is a fabric one that they said that the sewing just fell out after a couple of weeks somehow.
Oh,
really?
Not good.
Really? No good one.
I think in the other series of the 50 fathoms, the other ones that have the dials, they have more. I think the chrono dials, and the other ones with those dials inside, it compensates with the little the little dots and indices. Compensates for it. Yeah.
Yeah, Blancpain, they released a pretty cool watch a week or so ago, which was the 50 fathoms, the special edition in 42, the limited editions. They're not black, obviously, but really, really, really cool piece. The 50 fathoms in 42, like, why don't they just make that regular production? It's just got me bugging, man. Like, what? Just does my head in. Like, the 45 mil so long, and then they just bring out a 42 in something like 70, or I think it's 210 total pieces. Just mind-boggling.
Yeah.
Does everybody know what a fathom is?
It's a measurement of depth, isn't it?
Yeah, the unit of measurement for the depth. Yeah, of the sea.
Yes and no.
I think mariners use it. Yeah.
Yes, it is a nautical measure, and it is basically the distance when a grown man is putting both his arms horizontally. That is the different distance between his 2 hands. That is 1 fathoms. And by with that measurement, you can easily measure the length of a rope that has been then used to determine the depth that is below you. So you can imagine if you do that, if you take the rope out of the water and just have the rope between your hands, you can measure then the depth. So it's roughly 2 meters. It's a little bit less than 2 meters, 1 fathom.
I think they use it to measure also when they're dropping the anchor. So they they call out how many fathoms of chain they're going to drop the anchor for. Yeah.
But I think when they named the 50 fathoms had nothing to do with the depth rating of the watch. It just sounded cool.
You think so?
Yeah, good to see you.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I read that somewhere or heard it in a video or something.
Because 50 fathoms times 2, that's 100 meters, right? And the original watch was 200 or 300 meters, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I think it was.
How much is that watch just now we saw? The Blancpain 50 fathoms.
11,300 pounds.
Okay. It's quite a bit of a heft in terms of pricing.
Yeah, even more expensive one coming up now. This is the Ulysses Nardin Freak X. It's a titanium case with DLC coated. This is 20,200 pounds. Has no hands. The movement moves around to tell the time, if I'm correct, Jonathan. You know a bit more about this, I would have thought.
Well, the escapement is linked to the minute hand, so
yeah.
So the escapement moves while
at the
minute
end,
hand
yeah.
Yes.
At the end there, yeah. I know someone who bought one of these, and he had it for a while.
I know one.
Really?
But he couldn't get rid of it quick enough. So.
Yeah, this is the same with the person that I know. He had it for a while, and then he got rid of it and bought a Daytona instead. I love it. I think it's great. I really like the Freak. It's really
it looks cool, and it is not the same concept over and over and over again. They managed to make something very unique, no matter if you like it or not. This is just spicing up the topic that we're talking about. It's just good to have those freaks, isn't it?
Yeah, totally agree. I tried one when I was in Istanbul airport. Really cool on the wrist, but I would not put my money to buy it, to be honest.
I struggle with the color. Yeah.
You're on the wrong stream then.
Have you seen the topic of the show today?
I do, but you know, like a watch like this, like the Freak. I find that the black just simply makes it so camouflage to the point that it doesn't really like make it look any different than But I guess it's meant to be very discreet, so discretion for this piece.
I've seen a couple of them just some weeks ago in Geneva, and again the picture is different than if you experience the watch in real life, because that balance spring really shines out. So if you add more contrast to this aspect, you get a totally blingy watch. I didn't sense that it's totally uniform. Many parts are shiny and polished. So I think it has more life than what you see from that picture.
Yeah. Hi, Danny. Good to see you.
Danny. 30 Danny.
He's saying, as always, a blacked out Christian Ward on an ASO strap.
I hope that Marshmallow is joining us.
So we'll take away that one, and we'll move on to the thinnest ceramic watch, which we all know is the Bulgari Octo Finissimo. I really like this one.
I like this.
£14,800. The thinnest full ceramic watch with a mechanical movement. Quite an achievement to work such a hard, stiff material into such a slender shape. Using a BVL 138 Finissimo caliber, which is 2.23 millimeters thick, with a platinum micro rotor and decorated by hand with Cote de Genève, chamfering and perlage finishing. 60 hours power reserve, 40 millimeters case, 5.5 millimeters thick, ceramic crown set with ceramic element and ceramic dial, ceramic bracelet with folded clasp, and 30 meters water resistant. So ceramic everything on this one. I love it. I think it's a great watch. What do you think, JTB? Are you a fan of this one?
Yeah. Look, I'm not the biggest fan of the Octo line, to be honest, but this one in all black ceramic, just really cool. Like it a lot. The thing with the Octo is all the angles on the case, and I've always said the Octo is, it's too cool for me. You know what I mean? Like it's a sort of like a cool watch. It's sort of I'm not cool enough to wear the Octo, but I think I could pull this one off because the ceramic sort of mutes out all those lines a little bit. I don't know how legible the watch would be. Maybe with some high polish on the hands. I think in real life you'd probably get a bit of light play off the hands, which would make it
bit like
okay legibility, or maybe I don't know.
Bit like those Omegas we looked at last time.
Yeah, I always struggle with black watches with black hands. I'm like, why?
Yeah,
like, what the fuck are you doing? Make them a different color, like something like I don't know what, but just something else different. That's my only that would be my only criticism of this piece, I think. But other than that, super cool.
Yeah, I like it as well. I tried a couple of Octo Finissimos when I was also in Istanbul airport at the Bulgari boutique there. And the only ones that actually looked okay on my wrist, I have a 17 centimeter wrist, so not a medium sized wrist, were the bare ones, the normal ones. All the chronographs, all the 42 and up was like really big. Like it didn't look nice on my wrist, to be honest. And they had actually a couple of blacked out watches, but from other lines that I really liked, like the GMT one that they have, which was really cool. But I think, like you said, GCB, I think Bulgari has some kind of niche that they found, which is having everything the same color. I think they have also the bare steel with a silver dial and silver hands, which is also not so legible. But I think there is a market for that people want just uniform, everything same color, same tones, everything the same, which is good for us as collectors. There are a lot of options now.
Yeah. Hi, JJ. Good to see you. Good to see you, my friend.
Good to see you, JJ.
JJ.
Just a little off topic, if you allow me. That is my favorite Octo Finissimo that I've just pulled up here.
Oh, yes.
Oh, really? With the drawing on it, the sort of graphics.
Yes, I totally love that. Nothing to do with black watches.
Yeah. I have to agree with Jonathan on this one because the Octo Finissimo, the genesis of the Octo Finissimo started with certain drawings and sketching. So actually I've seen this in real life, and it's actually very interesting because if you can see past beyond the sketch lines and the way that it's very like a rough draft, if you can see through the rough draft, it's actually very beautiful in its own way. And the fact the matter remains is that Octo Finissimo is unique, and the Bulgari brand
without a doubt,
benefiting.
without a doubt,
yeah. I find it difficult to accept the full black one. It would be great as an accessory, though, if I wear it as like an accessory in my hand. But it would never serve its purpose as a watch completely. Yeah.
Expensive accessory at £14,800, but
if they put lume, then when we come to the night time, you go into a black light club, and it lights up. Then for sure, full black one would be beautiful.
Yeah. This was an interesting one. keeping up to date, a GPHG winner. This is the Hermes Arcour Lift Tourbillon Repetition. Minute So Black. Titanium. DLT coated titanium. Minute repeater flying tourbillon. Only 28 pieces. And this is 261,000 Swiss francs. So I don't know whether you got to be really into black watches and flying tourbillons and minute repeaters, so and have the money to be able to get this one to start off with. So I don't think many of us will be considering this one.
And for that sort of coin, would you really be buying an Hermes? That's the sort of the question, I think, for me. It's like, I'm sure the watch is great, but I'd be looking at Patek Grand Complications or something like that for that.
I think you're right. I think you're right.
A watchmaker's brand, an established brand for, if I'm dropping that sort of coin on a piece.
Yeah.
Thomas, can you pull up the image that I just put up? So Hermes is an interesting thing, and another advantage that a brand name alone doesn't sell products. We have this discussion with Rolex. Oh, they're so strong with marketing. They're spending $500 million per year into marketing, and they are brainwashing us to admire the brand. And then you have the Cellini line, which also says Rolex and doesn't sell at all. So it's not that easy to build up a brand image and do some marketing. And I think the same applies to Hermes when it comes to watches. I just wanted to give a small example of in my opinion, really boring Hermes watch which benefits from the black coating. So that is the Hermes H watch, which is shaped like an H. They're doing this particular model for forever in gold plated, in chromium plated or silver plated or whatever. And it just benefits when they're making it cool and black. So I think those stand out a little bit better. It makes sense for a brand like Hermes coating their very old-fashioned models to make them a little bit cooler.
Interesting, yeah.
And truth to be told, their movements for the mechanical watches are quite nice. So that is a standard movement. That it's their own movement developed by Vaucher, and they also have a very beautiful movement with a micro rotor in their slim line, which is really a beautiful movement. 1 second, let me try to find it.
I think for Hermes is the same thing that we discussed before. They really put some effort into making their movements, and we can see that from the GPHG. They almost won every year now, the past couple of years, with their cool designs and cool complications, like the one with the moon phase, or the travel time watch from this year as well, from last year.
Yeah, that is one of my favorites. Let me see if
they had a world time watch from this year, didn't they?
Yeah, that won the GPHG as well. Yes, so that is one of my favorites, the titanium with the orange 12. Unfortunately, they don't show the movement, which is a kind of bummer. Let me try this. They show the movement. Oh, here they show the movement with the micro rotor.
Nice micro rotor. Nice, nice and thin.
So
like a thin watch. Yeah,
it is not the shallow brand that it used to be.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a better image.
One, yeah.
So I really like that movement and the kind of finishing they apply.
The finishing is really cool, really, really nice.
Yeah, that is nice finishing, definitely.
Okay, sorry for the tangent.
Do you know who does make the movements for them?
Vaucher.
Oh, Vaucher.
Yeah.
Right. So going to the big pieces now. This is Well, we're on the more expensive pieces with the Hermes, but this is the Audemars Piguet Royal Oak Concept. Forged carbon case, black ceramic bezel, black and titanium case back ring, black ceramic screw lockdown and push pieces, black inner bezel and main plate of the movement that acts as a dial, 40 millimeters, 100 water resistant, 16 thick, 237 hours power reserve.
Wow.
I just can't believe that. Hand stitched large scale black alligator strap with titanium AP folding clasp and using the caliber 2895. I can't get 237 hours power reserve in this watch.
Almost 10 days.
It's nearly, 10 days.
Yeah.
So I don't know much about this concept, but in general, I own an offshore with a carbon fiber case. What is special about AP carbon fiber case is it's forged carbon. So it's not layered carbon to have an even surface. That is forged carbon. What they do is they have strings of carbon fiber. They cut it, then put it in the mold, put high pressure and high temperatures in, and you get that random surface look. So every watch looks a little bit different. So AP were one of the first who made those cases in carbon fiber, and they paid big prices because the first carbon fiber cases from them were so weak, like chalk. You could scratch the carbon fiber off with your fingernails. I'm not a carbon fiber specialist. From what I know is to achieve this effect, you need a certain amount of epoxy glue. So you need an amount of plastic. And with the first series of their carbon fiber watches, there was not enough plastic or epoxy in the mix. And that is then when you can scratch off that baked carbon fiber off with your fingernail. But then they adjusted it, and now the carbon fiber cases are really resistant.
Yeah, it's interesting you talk about different carbons, so the layered carbon and the forged carbon.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting to know. Dodger says carbon's old hat nowadays. So
yeah, I'm wearing old hat watches, Dodger.
yeah, we don't care, Dodger. I like carbon watches. I'd like to get one.
We can't all be so dynamic and hip and hype, just like Dodger.
Yeah, we can't have high pipe watches like you, high pipe baby.
Yeah. Since he became a Pepsi owner, he's all about the hype.
Yeah, he is, isn't he? Yeah.
Aww. Now this AP definitely deserves the credit, because I personally think that if the watch is going to be full black, the let me call it the screws, okay? The screws along the whole rubber frame itself is perfect, because generally speaking, price aside, I would say that this piece really is a piece that actually stands out on its own from all the APs generally. Yeah.
Well, we've got more AP coming up. I'll move us on to the next AP.
Awesome.
And this is one that JCB brought to my attention.
We've got the chrono.
The AP 50th anniversary Royal Oak self-winding chronograph, £200,000 on the used market. Black ceramic and contrasting rose gold accents. This has the 50th anniversary rotor. It's a ceramic case and pushers for chronograph. Grand tapestry pattern dial and ceramic bracelet with AP folding clasp. And this is a nice one. Big fan of this on the JCB.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, all the new Royal Oak 50th anniversary chronos, they're flybacks now. I'm not sure if you guys knew that, but they're releasing flybacks in all the chronos now, which I think is pretty cool. But I mean, just look at that. I'm a big fan of AP Chronos. I always have been. I think they're just great watches. And then you bring it out in ceramic, and yeah, even better. And I'm a big fan of the AP ceramic as well. I think they just do it really well. Like I was saying before, they brush that ceramic, so it just gives a really nice texture to the piece.
Unlike the J12, they brush it, but this is more like the brushing on the Octafinissimo, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's I mean, it's just like the Royal Oak, the one in steel. They've got the brushed and the polished pieces on the inner, those little bracelet links as well. Like those pieces are polished. Then you've got the polish on the ceramic bezel surround on the outer edge. That's polished as well. So it sort of mirrors the brushing and the polishing of the steel piece, which is really cool, I think. So it's they just put a lot of work into the watches, and the actual manufacturing, the design, and now with the flyback movement, I just think it's just a super hot piece. Something that I'll probably never ever get to touch or see in my life, but one of those dream pieces for me, at least. Anyway, I just think it's a great release from AP. The golden, so you've got silver silver tone screws in the bezel, but then you've got the gold, the rose gold sort of accents in the dial. Some people say that's a bit of a clash, but I don't mind that. I think it's cool. Don't mind that at all. So yeah,
I agree with you, JCB. You need to have some yin and yang, a very good balance.
Yeah.
And actually, this of all the APs and all the blacked out watches, this particular piece, because I like some complications within my watches. Aside from it looking big, huge, heavy, I also like to have something happening, in the watch, not just like monotone color. But I think that I like this piece as well. Yeah.
Well, you could take. I mean, AP have a number of black ceramic watches. You've got the open work, then you've got the perpetual calendar. You've got the perpetual calendar skeleton. I think I spoke about the skeleton on the Grail show, so I thought we'd have a look at this one. This one, because it's a newer release as well with the new chrono movement. Sort of a more of a newer release from AP. But yeah, you can take a pick. Any of the ceramic, I'd be happy with any of those ceramic pieces from AP. To be honest with you, they're all just super hot. I just love them.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And another similar one that you, in a similar vein to the Royal Oak, which JCB I know is a big fan of, is the Laureato. Skeleton ceramic. This is a skeleton one. I know you're a big fan of skeleton watches. This is a skeleton ceramic, and got here on the wrist, and a couple more shots here. There you go. So
I think I was talking about this the underrated watches show that we did. I brought this one up. Just another one where, I mean, you sort of, so the AP is what they're costing you a couple of $100,000. Just get your head around that for a minute. To get yourself an AP, any of the AP ceramic pieces, they start at a couple of $100,000. Like just the open work one, no complication. I think they're trading for something ridiculous, like 200 US or
something like that.
Yeah, something fucking ridiculous, right? They're just out of the realm of us, mortals. But then this watch here, you can pick this up for about 20 Aussie. So that's I don't do the maths. I don't know what the maths is, but on the conversion, about 15 US, something like that. Yeah, sure, it's not an AP, but you're getting a full ceramic piece. Look at all that work they've put into the skeleton movement. It's just unreal. Just a great piece, I think. super underrated.
Yeah.
And something that you should look at if you're into the ceramic, that all black aesthetic.
Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
I think the movement's getting a bit old on this piece now. I think the power reserve might be, I think it's about 38, so they might need to do some updates to it. But besides that, I think that's probably like the only downside, I think.
Well, 38 hours for £38,000. I mean, that's what it costs. So it's I like the open work components on this one. I quite like this open work dial. I don't know whether you're a fan, Jonathan. Are you a fan of open work dials?
Not so much. I appreciate true skeletonized work, and I'm not a fan of those open work. But I'm a big fan of the Laureato. I really appreciate and have great respect for it.
Do you like open work dials, Abdul? Are you a fan?
No, but this one I really like. I like the amalgamation of everything together. Like I'm a big fan of nice tiles, or maybe like pure skeletonized, like let's say the AP skeletonized ones. Really nice. But I like this one because of the combination of everything together.
Yeah. What about you,
It
Y2K?
also comes in the regular dial as well.
Yeah, the regular dial is actually I prefer the regular dial than this one in that release.
What about you, Y2K? How do you like open work dials and skeletonization?
My feedback and my comment may be a bit biased because I do like to see everything happening. But if we were talk about this particular Giraud-Perregaux, let me just call it a skeleton to make things easier, is that I find that it's a bit bland. As much as I like skeleton watches, it would have been nicer. It would have been nicer if the sides of it, right, was so-called transparent in a case where I can actually see more. Now, because this is, I would use the word dated. When I say the dated, it's a bit like it's been repeated. It's been shown a lot of times already. And people have actually discussed this before. So I think that it might be high time for GP to actually think about revamping and coming up with something a bit newer in terms of the design. If they want to keep this concept, they can. But they have to consider moving forward wise, how do they make this design keep it traditional, but at the same time keep it up to date, which means that certain changes will have to be made from like the hands to maybe the bracelet, the case. And I think for them at this point, case aside, bracelets aside, hands aside, maybe that what they could do is to work on the case, which means that they will not make too much drastic changes, but still keep the GP look. Yes. Sorry, guys. Bill did ask a question. Artisans, do we answer this one? Artisans de Genève, new Rolex Daytona. What does the panel think about this piece?
I think he's talking about the honey green.
Honey green?
I don't know.
The new one, right? That they made a new one.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen that, Bill.
1 second. Sorry. Let me pull it up.
Yeah, it's like yellow gold with a green dial, I think. Yeah, I think I saw that one just popped up on my Instagram. I think looked pretty cool.
Yeah, I like all the Reese's from Artisan de Genève. They make really nice ones.
Oh,
yeah,
interesting. Green dials, obviously, very popular last year and the year before. Dials of color of the moment. Rolex's color as well. So could it be the anniversary Daytona?
No, that is by Artisan de Genève. That is a special series.
Right. Artisan de Genève, customization, right? Yeah.
Customization.
It's a different one. It's the one where there's one version they call it the La Blossée. I'm butchering this word.
Lux, good to see you.
Hey, Lux.
Hey, Lux. It's a bit on the Daytona that Bill is talking about is somewhat a bit transparent, if I'm not wrong. We can see the movement.
They made an OpenWorks one, I guess, right?
But that is not new. They're doing that
that's
for
not
other
new.
stuff.
Yeah. Bill, just confirm. Let us know. Is this the one, or was it a different one that you were looking at? But anyway, while this is up on the screen, what do we think? What do you guys think? I love it. I reckon it's dope.
I love it as well.
Which one? The green one?
This one, yeah. I really like it. This gold green somehow just works really well.
Yeah,
I need to see the green in real life. I need to see the green. Is it emerald green, whereby there's a more like a sun green kind of effect, where it reflects off like a jewelry, like the.
I think it's a racing green, if I'm not mistaken.
Racing green. Okay.
So yes, it is this one that he's talking about.
One, yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Good.
So I'm a big fan of Artisan de Genève and the work they do. They've done a lot of open work, skeletonized watches. I've seen skeletonized Submariners by them. Actually held with them in the hand and tried them on. They do a lot of interesting work, and I was going to move on to talking about Artisan de Genève.
Yeah.
Wait! I'm gonna rip Thomas now into pieces, because he said he's a big fan of Artisans de Genève, and if he says that, I have to pull up the moon phase. 1 second. That Submariner moon phase, which is hideous. Do you know
Go
what
on
I'm
then,
talking
Jonathan.
about?
Which one is that?
Oh, that is so awful. 1 second. Thomas, how can you defend that?
I haven't seen it. I don't know the one you mean.
Okay, hold it up.
Oh yeah.
Oh, come on, that is unforgivable.
The smiling Submariner.
Okay, to be fair, why is it unforgivable?
Yeah, it is a bit gimmicky. That it's a bit too gimmicky.
You know, a moon phase in a Submariner doesn't make sense in my opinion. The visual is just awful. I appreciate
a smiling watch.
It's like a smiling face. Yeah.
Like the clown watch.
I appreciate what they did with the rotor, but anything else? Come on, just have a look at the dial, Thomas. Thomas, I think you should apologize.
No, Thomas. I think Thomas. You know what? You have the fair right to defend yourself.
Yes.
Okay.
Please.
No, Jonathan. It's because people are so used to seeing a subby for what it is. So suddenly they do something a bit wacky and funky, and it's like, oh no, it's sacrilegious. You know, how can you do it? It's like going to the Sistine Chapel and knocking one part of it and putting something back up.
I think it's a bit like Constantine Shakin and Rolex have collaborated, haven't they?
Yeah, probably yes.
Yeah, I think this watch is like really, if you get the most functional watch that you can get and put the most useless complication on it, like combining the most functional and the most useless together. If I'm a guy who like unique watches, like let's say I'm buying the Swiss Alp from Moser, I would definitely take this as my daily wearer and the other one as my weekend wearer, just for the fun of it, just to be like, I'm the wacky guy, I'm like the guy who always wears wacky stuff, and this is like I think that's the niche that they were looking for.
Yeah, Y2K. This is undefendable. Defendable. I'm sorry.
What if we change the name to Rolex Submariner Perpetual Calendar? Right.
Well, it is not. It doesn't even have a date.
We put the date in, and then we say perpetual moon phase perpetual calendar, because now we swap the name around. It's perfect.
It's interesting that you talk about these customization shops. You know, Artisan de Genève, Bamford, and Mad Paris, and I was just going to bring up a Bamford watch. I mean, Bamford for me were one of the first people that I saw do blacked out watches, because they were a customization shop that basically started blacking out watches for people. And has that come up?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, this is one of their Bamford Aqua Blues. I couldn't get onto the Bamford website, but they're customized. They're blacking out all sorts of things. They do from Zenith to Cartiers to tags to all sorts of different watches. You can get blacked out, and this is a classic layout. They're retro design, sort of Bamford signature colorways. This is a Bamford Aqua Blue B347. £2,500. It's 41.5 millimeters. Automatic monopusher chronograph, and this is with their own branding now. So they're actually branding their own watches. Using a Salita movement, bicompact layout. Small seconds at 9, 3-minute, 30-minute counter at 3, and date at 6. And I quite like this watch for £2,500. Don't know what the rest of you think. It's
do they say what movement is inside, or they just say it's their
Salita movement?
Salita movement, right?
Yeah,
I actually like it.
yeah, I quite like it. But Bamford, as I say, for me, they were one of the first people that brought to my attention blacked out watches. As a customization house, you know, they'd get used Rolexes and black them out, and then you'd end up getting a blacked out watch. And so this was a Bamford one, which I found quite interesting. But there's Mad Paris, another one, and we'll go on to. I'll just bring a couple of their watches, and you can see here they've got a Milgauss.
By kidney stones.
Yeah. So the Mad Paris, yeah, they're doing
What
this.
if giving you kidney stones looking at it? Is that
No, but they're just hurting now.
Yeah.
The hands are really thin as well.
This is £38,000, Jonathan.
What?
Your kidney stones are hurting a lot more, I bet now.
Yeah.
And Thomas, I think you're tonight you're trying to pull the pigtails of Jonathan.
Well, we asked last show. We said, would we ever see a blacked out Submariner? And I don't think we will from Rolex, but from Mad Paris, we've got a blacked out Submariner now.
Also, Bamford did them. Everybody and their dog did it.
For a while.
Project X also did it.
So officially, this is more of a modern watch, then, in a way.
Yeah,
Like, almost like modern.
a customized watch, again illegible, but £38,000 will get you a blacked out Submariner if you really desire. If you so desire.
Wonderful.
To be honest,
I would like to
30,000,
see Jonathan's
38,000,
expression.
That's a lot of money.
I'm glad that I don't have my camera on.
I think for
But what's-
38,000, you would be able to buy a white gold one, right?
Oh yeah. I'm sorry, I'm a bit out of tune, but maybe a bluesy or a basic subby. Actually, 2 basic subbies, maybe. I think 2 basic subbies. With that price, maybe. But it's
38, no,
unusual.
even three basic subbies.
3 basic
Yeah.
subbies.
Yeah.
But
It's like
this one's a bit
9,000.
weird. I mean, it's odd. They made the text white, but the hands black, which I need to see what time it is. But I think with blacked out watches, the one key thing is that it still has to be able to be legible. And maybe from this photo it doesn't do justice, but I just can't see the hand.
You guys don't get the philosophical aspect of this watch. So the entire philosophy is that watch is better legible in the night than it is during the day.
Because of the loom? Does it have?
Yeah, I think
right?
the black loom will shine.
The loom better be like Triton tubes inside or something.
Yes.
It better be Triton tubes.
The question is, would you want to see a black? Looking at this, would you want to see a black tar Submariner now? Would you want to see from Rolex a black tar Submariner? Looking at this,
For Rolex fanboys, yes, but if people who really wanted to have a watch that they can see, would it be more fair to have a fully wiped out watch instead? Yeah, a fully wiped out Rolex Submariner and a fully blacked out Submariner. I think that would just be a nice balance. Yeah,
I think it's just a question of time until we see a titanium Submariner.
I was just gonna say that.
Yeah.
And
I was thinking maybe a platinum Submariner for the anniversary.
I'm still hoping
That's
for that,
year,
and I'm also hoping for a limited edition 6538 big crown, no crown guards. That would be wonderful, but that's not going to happen. But Mark Goldberg made a very good point. We all know that Rolex does most of the stuff in-house. Now they have that deep sea challenge. So they have some kind of department where they can deal with titanium. They made big investments in the tools and in everything to make that possible. So they didn't invest that heavily just to make that one piece that is only sold in small numbers. There will be more to come, for sure.
Yeah, and I think also what Rolex, I really like what they do is that they try sometimes a lot of experimental stuff in Tudor, like the ceramic case, the titanium in the pellicos, and all the stuff. And I think in the future we would see like the successful, let's say, innovations that they did in Tudor, that it will be taken over to Rolex and then produced in one of their lines.
Yeah, I think you're right, Abdul.
I hope that they don't do one in bronze.
Tudor's a testing ground, isn't it, for Rolex, and as we all know, and I'm sure we'll see a titanium watch from another titanium watch rather than the Deep Sea Challenge from Rolex soon. But a platinum Submariner would be interesting. We've got the Platona, which was a 50th anniversary watch. Would we get a 60th anniversary platinum Submariner, do you think? Or 70th anniversary, sorry, platinum Submariner.
I would be totally upset if they didn't.
Yeah. I think they have the color, they have everything that they have, this baby blue, Tiffany blue, or ice blue, I don't know what they call it, which they have in the Daytona, they have in the Day-Date Platinum. And I think if they will release one, that will be the same idea, having this platinum case, bracelet, and this dial color, maybe the bezel color as well.
And it would move some sales from the unobtainable platinum Daytona over to an obtainable model for a short time. So it's also good for Rolex's pocket to do that.
Yeah. So that was my bit of trolling for you. A bit of trolling, Rolex trolling. Well, most do their trolling, and I did a bit of a Rolex trolling for you.
Any more trolling, Jonathan? Something else, and Jonathan's gonna fall out.
I'm all trolled. I can just for the fun of it, I can show you my no crown guard Submariner that upset Bill here in the comments. So I can do that for shits and giggles.
Yeah, go on if you want.
Okay, give me a second.
Well, Jonathan, Thomas, or JCB and Abdul, have you all seen the blacked out watches from Hamilton yet?
From
blacked out
Hamilton?
watch from Hamilton? No.
No, haven't.
Okay, it's called the Hamilton khaki navy below 1,000 meters auto.
No, I haven't seen that one.
I haven't seen it as well.
It is actually pretty awesome. Yeah, and for the price you're getting, it's really them good. Yeah. So it's a Hamilton khaki navy below 0. So below 0 is one word together. You type below 0 and type all black, and then you'll see it. Yeah. Oh, I think Jonathan's has got his stuff up.
So this is an Artisan de Higgins.
You called it the what? The Artisan?
Artisans de Higgins. We had Artisans de Genève. Now we have Artisans de Higgins.
Interesting. Have you bought the patent rights to the Higgins then? I should call it the Higgins.
Yeah. You're welcome. So this is a Rolex Submariner Kermit, 16610 LV, with slight modifications, actually a lot. But the main modification was that I removed the crown guards.
Really? Wow.
Is it a different crown, or is this crown?
No, it's the original crown. It's the original.
The guards have been removed.
Yes.
It just that's why it looks like.
You did that to a Kermit?
Yes.
Wow.
Jonathan, would this be considered a retrofit then? So it's like removing something and moving and like transplanting the movement to a new case.
Mr. GMT calls it a travesty.
It is. Yeah. I can understand doing it to a normal Submariner, but to a Kermit, I mean,
there was a reason why I did it to a Kermit, and you have to think like over 10 years back. At that time, a Kermit sold on the secondary market only a couple of €100 more than a regular Submariner. And that was the time where I bought this Kermit. It costed me $5,500, and if I remember correctly, a normal one would have been like 5,000. So we're talking about a price difference of 500. But it infuriates Mr. GMT that I butchered one of the valuable Kermits and I took it off the market just by doing stupid stuff with it. But from a financial point of view, it made sense because I could sell that green bezel insert alone for €300-400. And I wanted a black one because I wanted the project was I wanted to make a James Bond Submariner how he would use it today or 10 years ago today.
Yeah.
Because I was fed up with all the Omega James Bond watches. James Bond's true watch is a Rolex Submariner. Back then, he wouldn't wear a vintage 6538. I couldn't afford it anyhow. So I thought, okay, let me think what Bond would wear today if he would get a Rolex. And certainly, he wouldn't get out a blinked out ceramic Submariner. He would go to a discreet one. And I just wanted to make that reference with by removing the crown guards. But there was a little bit more modification going into this particular watch because the problem with the Kermit is you have green lume, and I wanted blue lume because I found it cool. So what I did is I sold the dial for the Kermit as well, and I bought a dial for a Rolex Submariner ceramic with a blue lume. And it fits perfectly into a 5-digit Submariner. So you can take 6-digit Submariner date dials and put them in 5 digits. It's the same movement. It's the same measurements. Don't do it with a non-date sub because that is different. But the Submariner date, it's totally the same.
Was it hard to remove? Was it hard to remove the crown guards then?
Oh yes.
Was that Dremel, Dr. Dremel?
Dr. Dremel didn't do it. I let a specialist do it. And I know that the poor guy worked for like 30 hours on the case transformation.
Wow.
Yes. So he was very careful. One of my main concerns was there are this kind of modifications out there, for example, by Project X, and also I think Bamford also did it. What I was concerned of were the gaskets in the crown tubers, because most of the conversations they shortened the tubers, which then compromised the gaskets. So my main goal was to keep everything original, just like it is, to have the technical properties of a proper submariner.
Did you remove the Cyclops, or you left the Cyclops, right?
The problem is it would be easy to remove the Cyclops. The problem is below the Cyclops there is an anti-reflective coating, so you can't do that. What I didn't know is that if you have a Rolex parts account, you can buy a crystal without a Cyclops. I didn't know that.
Oh, really? Wow.
That would be really nice.
So the guy who made the case transformation, he supplied me with a dial without Cyclops.
Right.
So you see, sometimes it sounds easy, but then when you're getting into the details, it's getting a little bit more complicated than that.
Interesting.
So it was quite a challenge. Took me almost a year to finish that project. And I know that many people hate it and look down on it. I think it's a great conversation piece, actually. And I'm still behind that project. I have no regrets.
So Y2K, I don't know whether this is the right watch, but I brought up a Hamilton. Is that the one you're talking about?
You're 100% correct. So this one is actually the blacked out Hamilton khaki below zero. So basically, it's one of, if you say blacked out watches, aside from like, I know people know that I like Omega. So Omega blacked out is, to me, it's like not really, because I find that you're paying a lot of money for something that you can't really see, and for me, it's like being able to see the time as well. So for me, I think that if I was to go for a full black, this would be the thing. And the specifications are quite impressive on this one. It has a think about, is it 1,000 feet or something? Let me just check it. So 330 feet, which is about 1,000 meters of water resistance. So water resistance up to 100 bars. Equipped with a helium escape valve.
330 feet. That's about 100 meters.
1,000 meters, yeah. It says it's got a convex sapphire crystal offering high performance protection during underwater exploration. Black PVD treated with 46mm stainless steel case. It's meant to have the look of a submarine. So this is a nautical classic design for marine pioneers as well. So this particular piece, it was featured in The Martian in 2015. Which Matt Damon was wearing, and I think there's a few other shows that actually featured this piece. And the hands and the numbers have a very beautiful lume when charged as well. Yeah, just thought I share.
I'll leave you guys to discuss the Hamilton. I'm going to jump off and bid you a good night.
Take care, JCB. Yeah, take care.
Thank you, JCB.
See you next time. See you next time, my friend.
Take good care.
We're going to wrap up soon anyway.
I feel like this looks like a little bit like a Bell and Ross somehow.
Yeah.
For screws, yeah.
You're right, Abdul. I think Bell and Ross, because of the way that the screws. Luckily for this piece, it's still a bit circular. But Bell and Ross, we've always known that Bell is very squarish. I think Bell and Ross has one that's actually almost full black too. I think so. Yeah.
Just a comment here from Orange Hand, Jonathan. Didn't Sean Connery's Submariner Tritium Lume glow green? Get that dial back.
fair point. It comes to personal taste again. I love the blue loom, so I don't care. So I'm getting the blue loom if I want. So yes, you may have a point. I may argue against. I was trying to get a modern Rolex Submariner, and the very modern Submariners had the blue looms. I just found it cool.
Jonathan, you have been being queried by Bill.
I think we've got to wrap up soon.
Okay.
Y2K.
Can we talk about that another day? But maybe Thomas, you pull up the loom comparison of my modified.
Sure.
So on the right you see my modified Submariner. On the left you can see a proper Kermit.
Ah, right. Right.
I could have changed the color in the bezel insert, but then I would be going on fake territory again. So I left it like it is because it was not really important to me.
Right. Interesting. So the left is a normal Kermit, and the blue, you've changed the loom on yours.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Right. Interesting.
The right one is the modified one.
Yeah.
Actually, they both look very cool.
I like the green loom, but the blue loom looks excellent with the whole combination.
Yeah.
With the black, is it black strips?
Yeah, there was a black Selkarot strap that I used.
What is the default color? Sorry, what's the default color?
What do you mean default color?
What would be the default, like the original color? What would it be?
Sean Connery wore a black alligator strap on his Submariner.
Okay, all right.
You're going all out Sean Connery, aren't you, Jonathan?
Well, the lack of hair, certainly.
A true Bond fan.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, good on you. Right, so everyone, I think that we've blacked ourselves out enough today.
We talked ourselves into a hole.
Into a black hole, absolutely, yeah. Talked ourselves into a black hole. Thanks everyone for joining us. It's been really nice to see you all in the chat, and yeah, really nice to see you. Thanks, JJ.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you everyone for joining us. And if you could give us a thumbs up, that'd be great. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Yeah, it's an invitation to subscribe. We'll be here in a fortnight, and yeah, I hope you can all join us again.
Congratulations for winning the book, Thomas.
Yeah, it's a great little book, that Debethune book. Yeah, it's lovely.
Really nice.
Yeah. And Jay Grace says the Scottish Bond is the best Bond. Hey. Hey. I'm not gonna argue with Jay. Yeah, so thanks again for joining us, everyone, and hopefully we'll see you in a fortnight. So take care.
Take care, everybody.
Take care, guys. Have a good one.